Welcome back to the Throttle North Podcast, episode 3. I'm Josh.
I'm Jeremy.
And we're glad you're here with us. It's early September, end of summer up here, and we both had some pretty wild weeks in the garage. Let's dive in.
Yeah. So you had your stable shaken up a little bit.
Yeah. Which actually is why we're in here right now, because literally the barn is in shambles right now. Hope you guys like the new scenery. I actually kind of like this, although it is a little echoey in here, but that's okay. Yeah, so this last week has been pretty crazy. It actually went by super fast. I spent a lot of time looking at different ways I could offload the truck, surprisingly.
Yeah.
So, at the beginning of August, I changed career, or I went through a career transition period, and, it was time to let the truck go. Sometimes when you love something, you gotta let it go. So that's why I did have it on Facebook Marketplace for a little while, but I found an opportunity and I took it, which was trading it in to the Volkswagen dealer here for a 2025 GTI. Yeah, I have a problem, and that problem is I love Volkswagens. So
the Vag Group, it's hard to get away from.
Yeah, Volkswagen. I've been addicted. So let's see. I think in the last 15 years, I've owned about 10 or 11 Volkswagens altogether. So I definitely have a problem.
I've had one sit in my car for way too long, in my yard, way too long.
Yeah?
So,
what was that?
It was a Jetta diesel.
Nice.
Diesel Jetta,
Okay.
I believe it was. Actually, no, it wasn't. There was a Jetta sit in my yard that was a diesel Jetta that ended up just getting thrown away. It was a depository for a very short amount of time for it to get out of there. What I'm talking about is I had a Rabbit. A diesel Rabbit. It was rusted to hell. An old aircraft mechanic had it there and was trying to sell it.
Yeah.
I was helping him out. And I drove around a little bit, and that was about as much as I could take.
Yeah, it's addicting, isn't it?
It is addicting being in a complete shitbox vehicle.
They're great. I love them.
Nothing against Volkswagens, any of the Volkswagen fans out there. I haven't owned a lot of them. I've worked on a lot of them, and I know there's a lot of specialty tools. But I think if anybody to own a Volkswagen would be Josh, because, I love Chevys, and a lot of other people that don't like them say the same thing that I'm saying about Volkswagen. So to each their own. On the other side of the fence, it's not necessarily always greener. It may be the same pea spotted grass that your neighbor has. So.
Yeah, dude. I feel like some people there are guys out there that like all types of cars, and then there are definitely guys that have their niche. And you are definitely a Chevy guy, just as I'm a Volkswagen guy.
I love all vehicles because all manufacturers made bad vehicles.
Yeah.
And a lot of times, our experiences with vehicles can be because of other people's negligence.
I just want to take a moment to say I really want to make this podcast weekly, and we're going to try and do that. But I think we're on a bi-weekly schedule right now.
Life is. I'm potty training a kid, and I'm swamped with. We are both started school back up because we're both going to college, so we're both busy, kind of getting the swing, figuring out our classes, and just getting the ebb and flow of a new schedule. And both of our wives are very business heavy careers where they're really it's all or nothing for them a lot of the times. And we're in kind of a supporting role, both of us. So we're left to get all the stuff done, and it sometimes swallows a large amount of time away from us where we're given little breadcrumbs of we can work on our vehicle. So I think that will pass here pretty soon. So we'll have a lot more content to talk about. So I think what we're going to get into just for the rest of the podcast, besides our new car acquisitions and me getting rid of our stuff, is also just touching up on some national news, some car maintenance items. And,
absolutely, yeah. And before we dive into that, though, I'm kind of curious, do you have anything on your plate for this week that you plan on doing with cars?
Yeah, so I have a 84 Chevy pickup that little square body that I turned into the back half into a trash trailer, and I've been slowly getting rid of the front half of it, making, because there's some good parts on it. I want to make sure that truck relives, like, organ donor. Just, if I can keep another vehicle on the road just by getting rid of this door panel or this, CDI or something like that, you're more than welcome to take it. So trying to get rid of the rest of that, because cleaning up the yard, getting rid of a lot of old projects that I had, a lot of things sitting around, getting ready for a couple big projects that we'll cover. Actually, on the YouTube channel, we'd like to do some more in-depth project reports and series on that stuff. So I'm just getting ready for that. I think Josh and I are working really hard to get to where we can do a weekly podcast for you guys. We can do a lot more project filming, a lot more hands-on tips and tricks, a lot more series, and then hopefully next podcast we'll have an update on your Volkswagen. We'll also have a big update on what our plans are for the channel for 2026. I think it's going to be huge. It's going to be great content.
Huge.
It's going to be huge.
Yeah.
The biggest. No one will have any bigger news than us.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. It's going to be a lot of fun next year.
Pay attention. Quattro. It'll be a really good video.
Yeah,
so,
yeah. I'm looking forward to it, man. Next year's going to be awesome. I think this year was the first year I kind of dove into racing. You've done racing up here before, so just a little hint for what's coming next year. A little bit more racing.
Oh, yeah. A lot of types of racing. So,
yeah.
Big schedule. So, we will let you know on our next podcast and have a pretty good, I think, infographic sitting behind us with what our schedule will be.
Yeah.
It'll be exciting, guys. Okay, so moving on. I don't have much I've been doing with vehicles besides getting ready to pull this lift kit off a 2003 1500 HD GMC that I have. I'm going to pull the lift kit off of it. It's a little obnoxious.
Yeah, it is pretty big.
Yeah.
It's like one of those Carolina squat lift kits.
No. It will be for about 3 minutes when I take the blocks out of the back of it and then quickly take the lift off the front. So we're not doing that, Palaka lean or anything on there. We're getting rid of that stuff.
Yeah, man. Maybe we should whistle and diesel that truck.
I mean, that's an idea.
Anyways, so you're working on the truck.
I'm working on the truck.
Yeah.
You're getting your badge fixed.
Yeah, so I'm getting that fixed, that tire fixed. They're going to replace that valve stem and hopefully rebalance the tire or rebalance the wheel. Also, just trying to get in the groove of being back in school. I made the mistake this last week of not doing any homework all week and saving it for today. That was a huge mistake, and I cannot do that next weekend because it's the season closer for the Autocross season up here.
Yeah, and you got to fit it strong.
Yeah, I got to fit.
It's going to be cold track.
Yeah,
so
it's going to be chilly. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to really. I feel like towards the end of the last race that we had, I was really getting into the groove with those new tires, but. I'm looking forward to being back at the home track here at Alaska Raceway Park on Saturday and Sunday, which means I need to get all my homework done before the weekend.
You have to get all your homework done, yeah.
And just thinking about Saturday alone, I'll have that, and then I have 2 other events happening Saturday starting at 4 p.m. Into the evening. So Saturday's just going to be a kick in the pants. So... and for the Autocross season, as of right now, I believe I am in second place overall in the standings for Autocross. So I'd like to see. There might be a chance I could get up to first, but it's gonna really take some balls to kind of push the limits of the GR86 out there, especially on cold track.
Yeah. And up here in Alaska, it could be a really hot sunny day. We have such temperature swings that really race days you can have a nice warm track and within 30 minutes it's ice cold again, cools down super quick, and then since we're coming into fall here, late fall, it's going to be really cold, so you can predict that any sunshine you get really is not going to heat up that track. And that kind of falls into should you invest in a set of tire warmers for next season to keep those tires warm? I guess doesn't matter your competition. right? Stiffer competition, you may need to invest in something like that to keep your tires warm.
Yeah.
But as of right now, sounds like you're doing pretty good.
Yeah, I'm doing all right. I will say there are guys at the national level that do have the tire covers, which I think is pretty cool. They're not necessarily warmers, but they help deflect the cold wind, which is huge. Makes a huge difference up here. One of which actually has a ZD6, which is the previous gen BRZ, and he got some kind of insulating bubble wrap from Home Depot, and he kind of shaped it out so that it fits perfectly in his wheel well. So maybe even doing a DIY project like that would be something we could do on the channel. I think that'd be pretty cool. So.
Yeah, something you just plug in. I mean, they've got some 12-volt mats that you could put in and hook up to a spare battery and probably just put a mat and some of that. You see that wrapped in HVAC ducting and whatnot, that bubble. Metal-cladded bubble there and a little bit of metal speed tape on it to keep it all together. You're probably able to fashion something pretty cheap and quick. Yeah, with a spare battery.
That'd be a lot better than paying $1,200.
Yeah, they're super expensive. Yeah, they are. And it's amazing how much you can DIY just out of Home Depot and Lowe's or any local hardware store. It's amazing, guys. You can make a lot of stuff. You don't have to buy brand new. You can make your own.
Yeah.
And touching on that homework again, you found out why you shouldn't put things off. Yeah. And it's not just schoolwork, it's also auto maintenance, right?
Yeah.
So, touching on that, I think we wanted to get into also a little bit of our main body topic was how should you break in a car?
Yeah, so brand new GTI, and I am of the mind that I will take it easy for the first 1,000 miles, and then I'll let her rip tater chip after we get past that break-in period. But I am very conscientious of engine wear and whatnot, and I think I prefer doing it keep it under 4,000 RPMs for the first 1,000 miles. Don't redline it. Vary your speed, your engine speed. Don't stay at a constant speed for an extended period of time. That kind of stuff. That's really my philosophy when it comes to breaking in a vehicle. I did that for the GR86. And I will probably do that for the GTI as well. What do you think about that, Jeremy?
Bollocks. I think it's crap. If a manufacturer suggests that you shouldn't do it, then they should put some sort of limiter on me not to do it. There are in racing, a lot of times you get a car engine built, you put it on the standard speed in the car, and you just you have a small break-in period just to make sure nothing's going to fling apart. You do incremental increases, 1,000 RPM at a time, and then you just flog it. And there is something to be said about that. A lot of times you're wear matching parts, and I know in race applications, you have a lot of low hours on the engine typically by the time you start really racing. And I think it's been proven, recently Toyota be damned, typically you have good quality manufacturing processes, your Six Sigma, your ISO 9000, ISO 9001 manufacturing standards. All your stuff should be kind of shit tight by the time you get it out to the manufacturer. Now, I have been told by a fairly reputable person that I know that used to work for a car manufacturer that I worked with in the Guard, that they usually do that because if something comes apart, it's a lot fewer parts and a lot cheaper to repair if you have a customer flinging the engine apart at 1,000 or 4,000 RPM versus close to redline. So, I mean, 6 in one hand, half dozen in the other. It's your car. You do what you want to do. Yeah. I come from the older racing heritage and line of mechanics that say once you know that it will run for about 5 minutes, you should probably figure out if it breaks sooner than later. So. No knocks, send it. So maybe I'm in the give it 500 miles. Yeah. And then if you have a warranty with a vehicle where that engine, say you buy a GM long block or something like that, and it has a warranty or a total engine or powertrain package, put it in and get your most out of that warranty. Figure out if it's going to detonate immediately. Yeah. So.
Yeah, I see your point there. I would counter that with that then makes you have to go back to the dealer for a warranty replacement.
You're already going to flog it.
Who knows when, how long that's going to take? I had a buddy who had Same F-250 that I had, right? Brand new 6.7. I think his was a 23. He had engine problems that he had dropped his truck off in August of 1 year. And he didn't get it back until like March or April of the next year because it just took so long for them to replace it. Because they had to do an investigation, find who was at fault, because it all comes down to money. Like, who's paying for this engine? And of course, Ford didn't want to be the one to foot that bill. A brand new $10,000 engine plus labor to take out the old one, put the new one in. That is a headache that I would like to avoid. So
I can see how a brand new vehicle off the lot. Again, I think that if really the manufacturer doesn't want you to do it, like a lot of the high performance cars, American cars, they put a limiter in the ECU that literally counts the miles until it allows you to unlock it, and they won't even recognize the red keys a lot of the times until it hits that mileage. So if they don't want me to do it, then they should put something in place for me not to do it. However, if it's a fresh race motor that you just spent $15,000 on, you should probably get and stand on it and figure out if it flies apart, because the worst thing to do is get on the track and do it, and you blow oil all over it, and then you ruin everybody's day for about 30 minutes while they're trying to dry the track off. So I guess it comes from a different standpoint.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I haven't had a lot of brand new vehicles off the lot. Yeah. And all the ones I have, I put them through the paces. Yeah. In a legal area to do so.
In Mexico.
In Mexico.
Yeah. No, I think I definitely have a problem. Like, there's something wrong with my head that I just like new cars for some reason. Like. And maybe it comes down to trust. Like, I don't trust the previous owner of a used vehicle to have taken care of the vehicle the way I would have taken care of it. Like, I mean, case in point right here, right? I'm going to baby this car for the first 1,000 miles, whereas some other person may be like, I'll let her rip, take her chip, let's go. Tell you what,
Yeah, I commuted since 2007, so a lot of the vehicles I was buying were just, I didn't want to run a vehicle into the ground. So like the new vehicles I did buy were more of a economical purchase more than a purchase that is meant for fun and speed.
No, definitely understand that. I think I will say I believe I'm going to be keeping this GTI for at least the next 20 years, so I hope it lasts that long. But with regards to commuting, I now also commute, but surprisingly, I get almost double the gas mileage in the GTI than I did with that F-250.
Absolutely.
I peaked at 20.5 miles to the gallon with that F-250.
Which is great, actually. That's fantastic.
Yeah, it was very good.
For a full-bodied, big old girl like that,
it's a big truck. But
great gas mileage.
Filling up 30 gallons of diesel and then DEF on top of that, I filled up. They have a pump for DEF, which is really
muffler
nice.
bearing fluid.
DEF was like $6.50 a gallon. And that's like a third of the price of filling up a tank. So now you're paying $130 to fill up the gas and then fill up the DEF. It was just ridiculous. So it'll be a lot nicer. I think there's like a 12 or 15 gallon tank in the GTI. And getting like almost twice as the gas mileage would be great. So
and that's another thing that we don't really think about until usually we're already head over heels for the vehicle and have a few thousand miles on it, is our maintenance intervals and what it's going to take to keep the vehicle running, and the complexity of a certain system on the vehicle, like emissions or oiling or coolant, and definitely modern diesel pickups. Any vehicle, since this big emissions around 2007, 2008 regulations came in, there's a lot of intricate parts, and there's some people, they get 100, 200,000 miles on these diesel pickups, and they're having to replace the whole exhaust system because the catalyst system has gone out. It's been plugged. Someone that maintained it before the previous owner fooled around, fiddled, deactivated something, didn't drive it properly to burn everything out of
The filter.
The filters, and the catalyst and stuff.
So I will say, with regards to those regulations and the EPA, like they take that stuff really seriously.
We've had raids up here, matter of fact.
Yeah, and a lot of people like to bring up the fact that the military diesels come like deleted from the factory, like they don't come with DEF, but
some don't. Usually specialty vehicles.
I think definitely they've phased in the EPA regulations a little bit slower in the military because we have it's a different application when you're using a vehicle for exactly.
It's war.
Yeah.
And it's war and emergency services, and you don't need your muffler bearing fluid, your DEF to go low, and then you're in regen and you're in the middle of a battlefield or you're middle of a disaster zone, and you're like, well, I'm stuck now. I can't do much. So like our bobtails, our specialty vehicles for search and rescue and whatnot typically don't have that. A lot of your emergency services vehicles in the military do not have that because that's an extra piece and part that, one, you don't want to break, and two, because we use JP8 a lot of the time, which is an aviation grade fuel, you're using diesel and different types of kerosene-based fuels. A multi-fuel diesel pickup, style pickup, a lot of those emissions do not act correctly. They are not expecting that range of EGT or that range of oxygen or that temperature in the exhaust there, and it can actually run afoul on the rest of the vehicle, especially like late injection system, just to heat the vehicle up. It can actually have premature combustion. So there's a lot of reasons why we don't do that. Going back to your Volkswagen, you have cut a lot of that out now, and you've gotten to like the emission systems on a car now, right? It's pretty tried and true, fairly common for the last 20 years, and it's probably current iteration. I think you going to that Volkswagen and what you're currently going to be doing, you're going to enjoy it. And it's a nice cockpit. I sat in that vehicle. Yeah. It's a nice vehicle to be.
Yeah, maybe you can help me film a new vehicle tour. So
perfect. We can do that. Hey, you want to check out his Volkswagen? We can do that for you guys. It's a beautiful car. It's great trim lighting in there. Very so unique. Cool. I like the way the dashboard's pushed out on it. It feels amazing.
Jeremy, you brought up that in a war zone, going through regen on a diesel is not something you want being stuck out in the desert. But I would also like to offer here at home, you got trucks driving around the flight line. You got emergency rescue trucks. You got trucks that are hauling aircraft. You don't want those trucks to stop in the middle of a runway.
Yeah, and that was where I worked, was on the flight line on aircraft. And a lot of the times we could not have a vehicle stuck in regen. We've actually had a flatbed truck that was stuck in regen. Again, not all of our vehicles in the military have those emissions removed. Yeah, we had that flatbed coming, and it had all the PAX equipment on there, and we're flying a bunch of Boeing guys back out, a Rams team, and it was in the snow, and it was stuck in regen, and that vehicle, it was only two-wheel drive, because God forbid we get 4x4s up here in vehicles. Whoever purchases the vehicles, GSA purchaser, go to hell. Yeah. We need four-wheel drives up here. It couldn't make it through the snow. It was snowing fairly heavy, so I've seen more than just that, us towing a big car trailer with all of this stadium seating and everything set up for retirement, and we get down the road and it goes into regen. And then you're crawling, and everybody's mad at you because they don't know, should I pass this truck? Should I not pass this truck? And you're only going 35 already on base, and everybody's angry because everybody wants to go to BK and get some food. You know, so it's we do have those vehicles, but they're few and far between. That actually have that regen or that modern emissions on it. So
no, I think you kind of bring up a good point about going 35 on base. One thing I do love doing is putting on my adaptive cruise control and setting it to whatever the speed limit is right there, because in my defense, I am not trying to get pulled over on base and lose base privileges.
And they'll get you for a mile over the speed limit. Yeah, I've been in the vehicle when that happens. It's,
that's
it's
crazy.
like, hey, my speedometer is not calibrated.
Yeah,
you do understand that the NTSB on this year vehicle, some vehicles, depending on the age, you're allowed up to 5 miles per hour from the factory. So how am I supposed to know?
Yeah.
Even if I was running the stock tires I'm supposed to have, I may be 3 miles per hour over or under. Mm-hmm. So can you give me a break? And a lot of people don't know that.
Yeah,
they're running a calibrated from the factory, speedo and all their electronic equipment and their GPS. So they may have several checks on their vehicle, and I have one that was allowed to go at the factory up to 3 to 5 miles per hour. Out of spec. What true ground speed is. So
Yeah. Yeah,
but
I just love pissing people off behind me. The adaptive cruise control too. Like I think I've said it before. I really like that feature on vehicles because you set it. You just gotta pay attention because if the car in front of you starts slowing down, but then all you have to do is pull over and
you're gone.
Yeah. So
our car has it, and it's pretty nice.
Yeah. So did you drive the Camry tonight?
I did.
Nice.
Yep. Yeah, that's nice. All-wheel drive. It's nothing fancy, but it's good for here up in Alaska. Yeah. It's just our commuter vehicle. Again, long drives, repetitive drives. It's nice to drive that around, and it's big enough for our family as well because we're still.
And is that a 2-liter turbo?
No, it's a 2.5 naturally aspirated inline 4. It's actually the same drivetrain that they put in the RAV4s and I think another vehicle. Oh, nice. A lot of the architecture on the drivetrain is the same between the Camry and the RAV4. Oh, and the Crown, I think, has a very similar drivetrain.
Okay. But you had that last winter, right? No issues.
It's a beautiful car to drive, yep. It's not going to turn anybody's heads, but it's a very compliant vehicle to drive, and it's really good in the snow. Yeah,
I think if you have all-wheel drive and decent snow tires up here in Alaska, you're going to be fine.
Yeah, and ours are just siped. We have really nice siped tires. Yeah. And it's a 3-peak winter. Yeah. A true 3-peak tire. Yeah, and that's really all you need up here if you're going to drive like an adult. You're not going to off-road it. Yeah. So if you go in the ditch, you're going to need tow out anyways if you're in a car. What's the purpose of getting something crazy? Yeah. I do see a lot of Subarus with BFGs and some Coopers and stuff. People put one of those leveling kits or the 1 1/4 inch lift that they have. It's pretty popular up here, and they put a set of chunkier, beefier lug tires, but then you're just howling in a Subaru, and it makes it even more uncomfortable. So
there's a guy. Hopefully, he's there this weekend. He has like a 1986 Subaru GL that he races in Autocross, which is pretty cool car to see.
There's a couple cool brats up here too. Brats, at A&A, the shop, where they're usually sitting out front. They're pretty cool. I saw a 6.4 Impala on the way over.
Really?
Yep, gray, smoke gray, 6.4 Impala. Yeah, the guy looked like he was having a great time in it. Really nice.
Rolling down the street in my 6.4. That's pretty cool. Nice, dude. So, Jeremy, you had mentioned something before about production quality issues with Toyota. Yeah,
actually, and it's affecting the 3.5 twin turbo that you're finding in the Tundras and the Lexus products that use that, and you're also finding the 4-cylinder turbo that are in the Tacomas and the Land Cruisers are starting to have issues with bearing failures, main bearing failures. I guess that they didn't have a retainer like some do, so they don't rotate. You don't get a spun bearing, as well as debris. I think we've all heard about the debris in the engines, and they're thinking that it's rolling into the 2025 models. They're starting to see that in the 3.5 liter twin turbo. So, I'm still a Toyota fanboy. Chevy and Toyota, they got a lot of similarities, a lot of bolt patterns are the same. From World War II moving on, I know a lot of the things you saw in the older Toyotas, they're so bulletproof because they just took a GM design and they improved it, right? And they got the manufacturing repeatable. And they're having, what I'm seeing on a lot of the news and a lot of the technical reports is that there's a lot of deburring that never happened in the motor, and a lot of those little rough edges are coming off and traveling through the motor. Of course, in the lubrication system, that's not good. Some of the designs of the bearings are allowing them to rotate in the actual around the rod itself, and the main bearings as well in the block. Which
so is that like a prolapse bearing?
That is a prolapse bearing. Yeah, you don't want your bearing hairing out, man. It's it's not good.
Wow.
So that's something Toyota's going to definitely have to work through, because man, that used to be the thing. Toyota just had great manufacturing and robust, and they used to really completely shit on other people when it came to reliability. I mean, Lexus was year after year, decade after decade, one of the most reliable car manufacturers out there.
For sure.
And I think we're just seeing the car industry being so pressed to innovate all the time that people are starting to take shortcuts that are very unadvisable. Like whoever was overseeing the manufacturing of that engine, as well as the 4-cylinder they're starting to see issues with, I believe did step down and get replaced. Damn. And they should be fined, because that's a huge thing. When Toyota runs up on a reliability issue, that's usually something that at least Toyota, I feel good about, because they've replaced frames on when Tacomas had those frames running out on them, doing the old taco fold on them. They replaced every single frame.
Damn, that's
great. Every single frame that had an issue, they did it. And I like that that manufacturer ponied up and said, yeah, just bring it on by.
Yeah.
And we'll take care of it for you. And I'm sure they're going to do the same thing with this V6, but it doesn't help their reputation in a market where reputation is everything. And, you know, they perfected the hybrid system, and you saw them in the Prius, and everybody started crapping on. And now you have them in the Tacomas and the, just not just them, but you have them. The Ford was doing that as well, and Dodge was doing it in their Rams. And I think that's the wave of the future. And I just hope that Toyota circles back, corrects their issues, manufacturing issues, and gets the reliability reputation back. I think they will. I'm almost positive they will. But, you know, because they were a leader. And I think we're going to go into that next about EVs, right?
Yeah, we'll talk about EVs. I do want to touch on this Toyota thing, though, first, because, you know, growing up in high school, we had a 94 Toyota Camry, and that thing was a beast. Like, talk about Toyota reliability issues. I have no idea what they were thinking when they said, yeah, Subaru, forget the head gasket failures. We'll join up with you.
Yeah, we'll take it.
And, oh, by the way, if you go out and use this vehicle, what it's meant to be used for, racing, and your engine gets messed up, sorry, you're out of Schlitz, buddy. Although I will say, I think they have replaced one or two engines that I've seen, but Anyways, I digress. It is kind of crazy to think that these reliability issues are impacting hybrids in such a way, because I think hybrids are what is going to save EVs. In the EU, I know there's a big push from Stellantis for the EU to support more hybrids, because that we are not where we need to be for EV infrastructure right now.
Oh, no.
I mean, up in Alaska, forget about it.
Yeah, absolutely not.
You got range anxiety, you got all these things that are preventing people from actually fully committing to EVs. You know, I know a friend, or I have a friend that has a Tesla, but he also has at least one other vehicle that is, you know, run on gas, because, well, I don't know what his reasons are, but I say all that to say EVs are going to be the thing to help ease people's minds when it comes to range anxiety.
Yeah, the hybrids are huge. The range, I think that affects retail, your resale on the vehicle. It's not only like, I think the resale, like, oh, this battery's going to be crap, this lost tons of storage capacity through several charges and discharge cycles. I mean, that happens to every battery. I think that's less on the consumer's mind now and more on, boy, do I really want to buy a pure battery plug-in EV, or do I want to ease my range anxiety and get a newer Prius that looks pretty damn nice? Like the newer remodeled Priuses, I look at them and go, that's a Prius? It looks actually cool. Really nice. It doesn't look like a Guppy anymore. It looks really cool.
That guy that has that Subaru GL, he also has a brand new 2024 Prius. He bought it and he brought it out with temp tags on and races it. Autocross. It's so funny.
They actually have a lot of torque. Yeah. They have a lot of torque.
And it's instantaneous. It's just like the EVs. Yeah.
And I think that if you look at it, I think what's Dodge right now is going back to nixing the all-electric and going to a hybrid powertrain again. Yeah. Ford has kind of leaned out on their all-electric Lightning and gone back to more supporting and retooling their hybrid systems. I think the hybrid's where we're going to get across the finish line until we have a graphene battery, solid-state battery that will give us a lot more energy in the same amount of space, which allows us to get a lot further, because if you're going to tow something with it, name a channel that's done any towing test on an EV, your range plummets by half down to a third in some instances.
Speaking of towing, you just reminded me that Whistle Diesel did that comparison to the Cybertruck versus the F-150. Did the durability test. That stuff is so funny. Anyways, So it's just really interesting. If you want to see how well an EV performs against a gasoline-powered vehicle, go check out the durability test. And it's pretty funny.
It is pretty funny. And hey, through those tests, we talk about getting something brand new and flogging it.
Yeah.
A lot of times that's what you're doing on torture tests to figure out what's breaks, and that's a lot of good information back to the manufacturer.
Yeah.
Funny enough, I'm doing that with a belt buckle right now. So.
Really?
Core, yeah. Just saying, hey, it should be serviceable. You shouldn't rivet this stuff in. The weak link is a spring, and the tang on a spring is the weakest link. It's already been bent. Yeah. So over 2 years of cycling my belt on and off, it breaks. I'm outside your warranty window, but you're not giving me an option unless I do it myself with replacing that spring instead of buying a whole new belt buckle.
Yeah.
Still love their product, but now they're kind of really, what is your suggestion? So it's been interesting to talk to a manufacturer and give them suggestions.
Nice,
but,
that's pretty cool.
a lot of these people that are out here in, the YouTube vehicle community are doing great things because it gets more awareness. Things are brought up and cycle through the community, and then people start noticing my vehicle's doing that, and it gets trickled down to the manufacturer, and the manufacturer starts becoming more receptive. So, again, why these podcasts are so important, why we want to bring a different view from a different climate to you guys, is we're going to experience things that your vehicle may not experience if you're down south, unless it's a very cold morning. But it's something that we experience day to day, to where hey, this is a wear item. If you hear your vehicle do this, it's premature wear. This is the fix for it. Put a block heater in, put a pan heater in, do something. Yeah. So, anything to trickle down into the community is great. And, a hybrid is really cool, but there's intricacies to that. And, hey.
Yeah, dude, I will say, so I did have a little bit of anxiety as we move into winter here. I know it's the beginning of September, but winter is right around the corner.
For us it could be
tough. But, I think the earliest I've seen it snow up here since I've lived up here was September 30th, which is pretty crazy. Granted, I don't think it stuck very well, but still, snow in September is pretty wild for me coming from the lower 48. But with regards to the diesel truck going into winter, I was starting to think, damn, am I going to have to park this in the garage? Am I going to be able to drive it to work in -20 and be able to get it back from work? So that was another reason why I kind of wanted to let her go. But that just reminded me, there is one repair. I have a check engine light, and I may have discussed this on the last podcast. Check engine light in the Ranger.
Robin,
So 86,000 miles on that thing, and it has EGR DPFE check engine light, which I have the part. It's sitting right over there. I just need to take the 15 minutes it'll take for me to swap those out.
And
it's actually fairly easily accessible. So it's a exhaust gas relief valve, something. It's like a little computer, it looks like, with little tubes or like a microchip in a plastic box.
Gotcha.
Actually, I can go grab it real quick. Boom, right there. That's it. So I think this sensor is right here, and I think it just measures the exhaust gases or something.
Yeah, it looks like a differential across
Yeah.
the Venturi or something.
Yeah, and it's probably break off from the exhaust manifold, but so super simple to replace. It's like right there in the engine bay. Excuse me. I just need to take the 15 minutes to do it, and as I said before, this week's been a little crazy. I even put off doing all my homework to today, so that was again not a good idea. But
eat porridge unless you eat all your meat.
yeah. So, well, guys, I really hope you enjoyed this episode of the Throttle North Podcast, episode 3. Please don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you're watching this on YouTube. You can also find us on Spotify, Throttle North Podcast. I'll put a link in the description below. I'm working on getting us on iTunes, podcasts, iPod,
wherever you can
Apple
listen
Podcasts,
to your cast that you love.
So I will work on that in the next week, and my goal is to get this out this Wednesday. So we're recording this on Sunday. I have some homework due on Tuesday, so I'm gonna try and get this out by Wednesday, and forevermore by Wednesday. That's the goal.
We're on step, as they say, so we're ready to cruise right on into a regular schedule.
And if I'm able to get all my homework done by Friday, post race Sunday show, that's gonna be it.
We'll have all of his trophies lined up here. As you can see, he has quite the collection of Lego vehicles. You would never stand on an F40, but in scale, it does work. It does work, yeah. And I will say, there's one that's not here that I just got in the mail a few week ago. It's a Porsche 911 GT3 that I got to put together. So I really also want to do live streams on this channel. I'd like to do let me know what you think in the comments below. Would you like to do a live stream Q&A session? We're up here in Alaska. Who should we interview?
Thing.
Maybe we'll start figuring out people to interview from the area. In
the
industry.
Yeah, okay, there are actually a few people that I can think of to interview, but jabbered on and long enough. Gosh, I think this is our first, how long is this? Almost an hour-long podcast, so it'll probably be cut down to about 45 minutes. But again, thank you all for watching. We'll see you in the next one. All right, keep it powder dry. Yeah, Throttle North out. Bye. Peace.